and set up their season, can't it? Freo have started with their guns in the middle. Peter Bell alongside Troy Simmons, Hazelby and Pavlich. So they're going for broke early.
Both sides sitting on 4 wins and 3 losses. A win this afternoon take them to 5 and 3. And you're halfway to the finals almost, and sitting very nicely.
There's Polak on Fraser Gehrig. Big ask for Polak. Gehrig definitely has him in strength, but he'll go with him on the lead, Polak.
So the Saints kicking to the left of screen in the opening turn. It's the Dockers and St.Kilda. Round 8 action at Subiaco. Kaczynski got the first tap of the game. Hazelby to Woods, to Grover, to McManus. The Dockers to half forward. Bell comes across with courage. Gets crunched by Hudson. Goddard to Clark. He goes short to the wing and finds Powell. Inboard to Hayes. Will go inside 50 for the first time this afternoon. Simmons in the hole. Gehrig will arrive late.
Well done.
And Simmons takes the defensive mark.
Stood his ground well, didn't he?
Expect the heat to be on this game early. 2 hard-running sides. As Simmons goes short to Hadrell. He goes up the middle and finds Headland. Headland, low trajectory pass was a beauty. Straight on the chest of Hazelby. He looks up inside 50. Longmuir's going to be his target. Got a couple to beat down there. The Saints got back in numbers. It was 4-on-1. And Powell to relieve for the Saints.
He drives the ball towards the wing. Burke is the target over the top. McManus the spoil. Re-roll. Taken to ground by Hazelby. Good tackle. Dion Woods. Couple of early possessions. He's got the job initially on re-roll. Towards the 50. No mark taken. Penny gathers the bouncing ball, collected on the way through. Goddard under pressure, the Saints deep in their defence, and Maguire can clear, and he does. Out wide, Kaczynski, the big fella, lopes away. A couple of bounces. Penny slow to get to his feet. Runs towards the wing. Headland closing quickly. Terrific smother. Gathers, gives it to Hayden. Runs out of room with poise. Back to Headland, and the Fremantle Dockers can surge forward. Headland, Hudson, well done. Good fist at the front. Cook. Black closing in quickly. Good pressure by the former Fremantle Docker. We've got a boundary throw in. Michael Thompson on the boundary.
Mark, Peter Bell took a very, very heavy knock early in the game. Looks very shaken. He's tagging the great Robert Harvey. Should be a great duel, but Bell still not well yet. A really, really nasty one.
Knee in the ribs, as we saw from the replay, Michael. Throw in. Kaczynski the tap. Clark to Thompson. Releases Black, the former Docker. Gets the boos of the crowd. To half forward. Hamill's his target. It clears he and Hadrell.
Well done.
Gehrig, the quick release to Burke from the boundary line. From the angle. Milne screaming for it. Screaming for the square up. Burke went himself and missed to the near side for the first score of the game after 2.5 minutes.
It was good hands from Fraser Gehrig, wasn't it? Just attacked the ball pretty hard and just a little give to Nathan Burke. You're right, Milne was by himself, but I guess he'd committed to the shot.
Hadrell, outside defensive 50, but straight to Hamill. Milne offers the short lead. The ball just sits in the air. And he got enough of it to take the mark. The attention arrived late from Hayden.
It was a nice kick from Hamill, wasn't it? Because he actually had to get that in pretty quick. He had control of that foot. He had to be paid. But he had to get that ball in pretty quick. So was it only off a couple of steps, that execution from Hamill. Nice skills from him.
So Stephen Milne, leading goal kicker for the Saints, despite missing the last 2 weeks through suspension. He has 16 goals, 8 for the year. Gehrig the next best with 10-10. Milne from 45 metres out. Just looks to have pushed it across the face. He has. And another behind to the Saints. Chris Connolly working the phone early. The Dockers have an excellent record here against Victorian sides. Have beaten the last 10 Victorian visitors to Subiaco by an average of 32 points. The last loss to a Victorian side here, round 17, 2001. Hadrell to Hayden. Just holds onto the football, waits for the right option to present itself. Strange kick went to Bell. There's a mismatch in height, really, against Thompson. Jones thumps it back inside 50. McManus in position. Right grab. Just drifting across the contest was Hayden. And he releases McManus from half-back.
Looks out wide. He's got Headland and/or Simmons. The latter takes it and runs. One bounce. Through the wing, a couple now under his belt. Lost his footing. Needs to straighten up. Chips it over the top. Cook against a couple of Saints. And the yellow Guernseys around the football, Black against his own club. Bell onto the loose ball. The skipper, the left foot kick, misses the target, and Goddard, this week's AFL Rising Star nomination, holds firm.
They're getting numbers back across half-back, aren't they, the Saints? So Fremantle have to get that ball into their forward line pretty quick.
He's in trouble.
It's a throw.
How did he dispose of that? The umpire deemed it a legal hand pass. Harvey off the ground. Bell the loose ball. Fremantle with a chance to hurt St.Kilda on the way back. Pavlich to Walker. Accelerates. Hard up against the boundary. Centering kick. Hazelby best position. No mark play.
Yep.
Saints pull it up. Free kick.
In the back.
Over the shoulder. And Paul Hazelby will shoot for the first goal of the afternoon.
And that was, I guess, what I was talking about. Walker's got that in pretty quick to a real central position. I reckon Xavier Clark was a little bit off Paul Hazelby. He had to try and make up those yards the last couple of metres when the ball was coming in. He was in front position, had to be awarded that free kick.
Tough week for Paul Hazelby, some unwanted publicity, but a chance to put that behind him right here and now. Freo have got the first.
There's some interesting matchups, as we would expect, around the ground. Bell going with Harvey, which is interesting. Just see this ball coming in. It's a great central kick from James Walker. And Xavier Clark just a little bit off his man, had to try and make that those yards. Just couldn't get there. When he's getting the ball, Paul Hazen, Fremantle are clearly a better side.
So the Dockers are on the board. Smart play from Justin Longmuir earlier. Just snuck up on Goddard, didn't come thundering in. As a result, Goddard didn't know he was there until it was too late. The Dockers with the resulting goal. Free kick in the middle of the ground to Thompson. Chips wide to Black. Third touch for him. Pushes forward to Hayes. He'll collect his second touch, 55 from home. Interference from Rewald on Cook. Umpire Matthew James just comes in. There's a couple of choice words to Nick Rewald. And Hayes goes short and finds Burke right on 50. The journey may just be beyond him. It's an open goal square, though. Walker's run across the mark and conceded 50. So what was a touch-and-go shot at goal from Nathan Burke will now be a point-blank range shot. And Ben, James Walker pleading his case by saying he was right on his man.
Yeah, well, the rule actually says you are allowed to follow your man if you're a few metres behind you and then you go through. It is a 50.
From point-blank range, Nathan Burke converts, and the Saints regain the lead.
I guess that's a soft goal in the end. One thing that St Kilda are doing well, at these centre bounces, they're getting players streaming in from all sides of the square to try and really confine that centre bounce area. Fremantle have been pretty good out of there the last couple of weeks because of the dominance of Troy Simmons. But they're trying to get extra numbers in as soon as this ball is bounced. So it's good tactics, I reckon, from Grant Thomas.
Young Maguire getting some treatment before the ball is bounced. The goal apiece at Subiaco. Cool, cloudy conditions. The Saints will appreciate that.
Tap.
Out of the centre, through the hands of Powell. Simmons makes about 30 metres. Medhurst read it well. Centering kick. Brilliant kick. Longmuir. Play on. Didn't complete it. Penny. Maguire goes to ground. Slick hands by Powell. The Saints out of trouble through Baker. To the wing. Grover. Terrific chase by Rewald. Big Manus flips it out to Dion Woods. Probing kick inside the 50. Cook flew high. Pavlich at the base of the pack. The numbers with the Dockers. Probe, indecisive. Bouncing ball. Which way will it roll? Wrong side of the post. Troy Cook. Haven't seen him travel that high ever. Normally at the base of the packs. On that occasion was looking for a ride on the back of Maxie Hudson.
And the ball's coming into Freo's forward line in a really dangerous position. The couple of times it's been in there, if they get their hands on the ball, it's an easy shot at goal from Freo's point of view.
Jones plays onto himself. Kicks long. Kaczynski the target. A couple of Dockers there. Pavlich just floated across the contest and plucked it out of thin air.
Longmuir's on long.
Decides to thump it long. Two to the goal square. Longmuir working his man off at Baker. There's always a mismatch. And that was the problem. The Saints set up the defensive on the zone to run out of defence.
Absolutely. Baker's left on Longmuir, and good identification from Pavlich. I mean, you can have that mismatch occurring deep in Freo's forward line, but you've actually got to look up to see it. So good vision from Pavlich.
So Justin Longmuir has kicked 11-6 for the season from point-blank range. The Dockers have their second. So 2 goals for the Fremantle Dockers. They're 2-1-13. The Saints are 1-2-8. Bright opening here at Subi after 7.5 minutes.
And I guess that's the advantage from Matty Pavlich's point of view, to be able to just have that's 2 steps, and he's hoofed that 55 metres. Fantastic body work. Stephen Baker having not much chance at all to outmark him. He's the best contested mark in the Freo Dockers lineup. But just watch the Saints stream in after their centre bounce. It's clearly a tactic that they've used. Kaczynski's got a big job ahead of him.
Since returning from an injury, Justin Longmuir has been terrific. 4 goals last week, 1 on the board this afternoon. Pavlich, gang tackle, somehow got boot to ball, didn't cover the required distance. Rewalt, cool as you like, back to Goddard. Tumbling punt, there's a free kick holding. And Stephen Powell, the recipient.
He's been pretty good, I reckon, Mark. He's one player that can get under teams' guards, I reckon.
3 disposals for the afternoon so far. Gehrig at the front. With him was Polak. Brilliantly done by Milne. Outside of the boot, it teases Grover right to the line. And unfortunately, Shane Warner's here this afternoon, but he couldn't impart that vital spin to send it through the middle.
Just the strength of Gehrig. He's given off 2 scoring shots already to his smaller teammates. One to Nathan Berg, and on that occasion to Milne, just because he's kept the ball just in front of him in a position where it's easy to read.
Milne did the double step then. He jigged one way and back the other and actually sold himself in a bit of trouble. Made it harder for himself.
Absolutely.
Hadrill outside 50. Big pack of players. Jones at the back. Couldn't get the run of it, but Walker does. To Carr, the former Saint. Has a bounce. Make it 2. Trots to 60 metres out from goal. Ordinary kick. Clever play from Farmer. Slapped to the advantage of Pavlich. It didn't sit for him. Good hands from Hudson. Maguire under pressure from the goal line. Squirts it out wide towards Robert Harvey for his second touch. With great poise, but not a great kick. He gathered himself, set himself nicely, and then put the kick wide. Farmer brings it back into play quickly. Walker. Now Cook. They'll contest 20 metres out off the hands of Headland. At the back is Longmuir. Snaps and kicks his second. And the Dockers get the early break. They're out to a 10-point lead.
And, well, that's his... Gee, he's just great one-on-one. Longmuir, the ball's just come in quickly, willy-nilly. They wouldn't really have practiced this at training. Cookie's just whacked it on his boot, but it's to a hot spot. So, as I said before, if Freo actually can gain possession in this part of the ground, it is an easy shot at goal. Just disciplined footy, especially at the start of a big game. Pressure's on both young sides, but if you play the percentages, keep the ball in the corridor, things like this can eventuate.
Fremantle Dockers coming off that terrific victory last week at Telstra Dome with the early momentum, and the Saints with the aid of a breeze. Simmons halved the contest with Kaczynski. We'll have a secondary ball up.
I like the matchup as well of Dion Woods on Rewalt. I thought Polak would have gone to Rewalt, but similar sort of stature, both those players, Woods and Rewalt. So Dion's got a big game ahead of him.
He's been a revelation for the Fremantle Dockers this season. Cook squeezes out the hand pass to McManus, in turn to Hadrill. Pushing harder still is Cook, and he's got the mark at half back. 2000 Best and Fairest winner of the Fremantle Dockers. Terrific vision. Simmons inside the centre square. They break free. Grover, metres in the clear. Runs through centre half forward. Drives a kick into the pocket. At the back, no mark taken. The Wizard! How did he slip clear and kick that? Terrific roving. We have missed that from Fremantle's young small forward in recent times, Ben Allen.
Well, I reckon, that's been generated from Grover from half-back. He's just gone forward when they've got possession of the ball. He's just got his shoulders pointing directly at the goals as soon as he's gained that footy. It's actually very hard to tackle a boy when he does that. Powerful move. No one can get a hand on him. Good finish.
Well, the Dockers make their early move here at Subiaco. The margin out to 16 points. And the Saints need the next one. Back in the middle of the ground. Bounce favoured Simmons. Couldn't take it cleanly. Hayes spun out of one tackle. Dish to Harvey. To half forward. Rewald underneath it. Goes back. Couldn't quite bring it down. Hayden at ground level. Stepped through some traffic. Handball to Carr. Burke just dragged him off his kick. It mattered not. Found Pavlich. McManus. To half forward. Medhurst running hard to present an option. But Carl Lewis wouldn't have got there at his prime. There's Aaron Hamill. Just working up the ground now to get into the action.
They need
Just
him
the one
involved more,
touch.
don't they? They need him involved more in the footy. Aaron Hamill ignites them.
Leading stat getters for both sides. McManus and Pavlich leading the way with 5. Simmons the tap, back towards the line. Clark exits stage right. Maguire. Ineffective handball. Burke on his hands and knees. Good clean hands from Carr. Did well in the congestion. Screws it back to the danger zone. Longmuir's at the back. He's kicked too. Not this time. Gets it off to Pavlich. And he benefits with a goal. Well, the Dockers have a flyer. They lead by 22 points. We've gone 16 minutes in the opening term.
And they're just getting their hands on the footy, bolting it forward, just getting it just in front of goals. Again, I reckon that's their 3rd goal in a row, and it's been kicked from about 3 or 4 metres out from goal. Just got to play hard one-on-one ball. But when Fremantle are actually getting their hands on the ball in that area, it's very, very difficult to defend.
There's a few inexperienced players in the St.Kilda defence, and of course, Ben, that's the one spot on the ground that you're going to be at your most vulnerable, 10 or 15 metres out from goal directly in front.
Yeah, you can't afford to ball watch, can you? But Goddard on Pavlich, there's a fair bit of talent in that matchup.
The question has been asked of these young Saints early at Subiaco Oval. Kajitsky goes in and gets it. Hand passes straight to Grover. A loose ball to 50. Walker.
Well done.
With courage. Left it behind. Slaps it clear. Grove. Pressure from Goddard. He claims he touched it. Doesn't matter. It was off target in any case.
Well done by James Walker, wasn't it? There was a loose ball on that half-forward line, and he has gone straight at it. That is the sole reason why Crowe had that shot of goal. If he hadn't been as committed in that part of the ground, it could have been a St.Kilda ball.
Pete Black. 69 games with the Fremantle Dockers. Normally a penetrating left foot kick. That's no exception. From behind, Penny with strength. And the Saints can clear from half back. Hayes. The kick intended for Rewalt. Dion Woods got a fist in there. And the Dockers fans were very appreciative of Dion Woods' early effort.
I reckon Rewalt gets a lot of his marks on the hard lead, and Woods is the one player who can keep up with him in terms of pace.
We saw that last week with Lance Whitnell. If you can stay shoulder to shoulder with Rewalt, you're at least halfway there.
Simmons comes to Cook. Little give intended for Hazelby. Taken by Hayes onto the boot. Hamill, rode a bump, puts it out. Looking for Powell. Helping out his Rewalt. Back to Powell. A chance for Harvey. Could lay it off or go himself. Chooses a ladder. The chant goes on goal. Right to the goal line. A mark taken by Polak. No 50. He was terrific last week. 9 marks, and he started off this afternoon with another one.
To the outer side. Well-weighted kick to Hedlund. Thompson overcommitted, and Hedlund's away. Out in front of Pavlich. Another beautiful kick. Fremantle using the football so well. Over the top to the run of Grover. Can gather at 50. Here's a thumping kick. Has to go back and do it the hard way. Black goes to ground. Ball comes back to Pavlich. Chips it inside 50. It's set up for Medhurst. And allowed Hodgson to come over the top and slap it to the line.
No, Grover just mucked that one up in the end, but gee, he's running hard from the half-back line. If he can get the ball forward of centre, he is such a prodigious kicker. He can get it in deep.
Plenty of players inside the forward 50, as you can see. Penny works his way to the front. Longmuir over the top. Hazelby threw it out. Hayes attacked the ball. So did Farmer. Still alive. Baker throws it on the boot. Milne set a task now, one-on-one with Hayden. Milne ran past it. Hayden at the back's got some support in the form of Farmer, doesn't use him. Instead goes inboard looking for Pavlich. Goddard arrives. Powell at ground level, taken in a frontal tackle, but illegally. Umpire said Pavlich's arm just slipped over the shoulder. Powell with the resultant free kick. His 6th possession for the Saints, level with Lenny Hayes. While Pavlich has 8 for the Dockers. Kazitsky goes to Harvey at half-back. 5th touch for Robert Harvey. Averaging 26 a game this season. To Clark. Steps around Shammer, leaves it behind. Good shepherd from Hamill. Bought Clark some time. Tumbles a kick inside 50. Polak attacked it. At the back, Gehrig. Numbers at ground level, Milne. Getting back to cut it off with Simmons. The Dockers can set up. They go to the outer side. Bell has got a paddock. Gathers now. He's got Hazelby short, wants to go longer. Carr the target. Hayes got a cross. There's Hazelby. Back to Carr. Eludes Lenny Hayes and goes short to Headland. 80 metres from goal. Headland thumps it high. They'll contest at the top of the goal square. Longmire across the front. Free kick. Push out. And it's going in the way of the Saints.
He's looking good though, all the same, Justin Longmire. When he gets his confidence up early in a match, you can almost put him down for half a dozen goals.
Peckett to Penny. And again, the Dockers attacking the top of the goal square. It's making the Saints defenders very uncomfortable. Baker to Harvey. Clark wants to take on Shammer. Harvey and Black collide. They've got some time. Kick to the middle. Peckett slipped away and has got a man in space. Decides to go himself. Gehrig offers the lead now. Kick just sits up for Polak to slap away. Rewalt and Woods at ground level. Rewalt tried to flip it to Milne. Couldn't keep it alive. Another throw in.
It wasn't a great kick from Peckett, was it? Looks like a couple of changes. Fremantle continuing their rotation. Medhurst off. Crowd as well. But just set up that ball, didn't it, from Peckett to Gehrig.
From a throw-in, comes to Hayden. Across to Bell, busy in the back half as usual. Hits Headland on the chest. Open forward line for the Fremantle Dockers. If this sits, Shammer is away. The youngster. One bounce. Runs his full measure. Drives it to full forward with courage. Maguire going back with the flight of the footy. Maguire. Part of this Saints defence, which has been under siege in this opening term. Across to Peckett, the veteran. Onto the wing. Goddard is the target. He'll come from behind. Ozzie Jones. Ineffective kick. Shammer takes a while to gather. Hamill. Perhaps that tackle intended to show his teammates exactly what's required here this afternoon. A lot of ferocity in that.
Well, when he slaps his arms around your Hamill, there is no getting out. I reckon he's the best tackler going around.
The Dockers in control in the opening quarter. The numbers around the football with St Kilda. Hayes across to Jones. Wobbling kick. Dion Woods, yet again, comes across. A very disciplined opening term for this young man. He's been terrific this season. Made his debut in round 1 of 2001. Season high 18 possessions last week.
There is an open forward. Rewalt's actually gone to full forward, so Polak picking him up, and Gehrig has now got Woods.
Simmons got a hand in there. Ball. Haven't seen a lot of him in this opening term. Headland and Powell getting mixed up. The umpire will call for it.
He's getting a lot of free ball in the middle. His confidence to be going. That's why I think he's chatting. Just reckon you need to play really tight on Des.
He's had 6 touches. Kazitsky infringed by Simmons. And the ball will come back.
2 tools are down there by themselves. Gehrig and Rewalt. The ball will come in long, no doubt.
And no one else inside the 50.
It's a good setup, isn't it?
St Kilda staying right out of the way. So Kazitsky does bomb it long. Rewalt and Gehrig. Gehrig will fly from the back.
Well done.
It's exactly what we're talking about, and they executed it perfectly.
Yeah, it's actually a fantastic team play. None of the smalls actually crept inside 50, and it was very difficult to do when you know exactly where the ball's going, to not actually creep in there. Milne was the only one. He was thereabouts to get the crumbs, as you would expect. But this boy, he's absolutely enormous. I mean, he's 195 centimetres. If he gets in front, he's very, very difficult to get around.
100 kilos. Fraser Gehrig, 10 goals, 10 this season. 25 metres out. Slots the goal. So Gehrig gets his first. 2 goals, 5 last week against the Blues, but really did start to show some vintage form. And he's on the board again this afternoon. Much needed goal for the Saints. The margin back to 17 points. Hope you're enjoying this game right around Australia, live and uninterrupted on Fox Footy.
Yeah, they needed that, obviously, but I think more importantly because they were here a month ago, the Saints, against West Coast, and that match was actually over by half-time, so good for their team coming into quarter-time to get a goal.
An important goal nearing quarter-time at Subiaco Oval. Out of the centre, the Dockers with a clearance. Hazelby, although takes plenty of courage to stand under that. That's a terrific mark. Stood his ground, Maxie Hudson. Came off with an ankle injury last week, but seemed to have recovered. Spots Powell.
Some space.
He can hurt you from left half forward. Good chase by Headland. Into the pocket. Rewalt at the front. Gee, Polak did terrifically well. Not paid the mark. Milne swoops in the pocket. Bends it back across the face. And Ryan Polak, although he's wrapped up like a mummy in bandages, is playing a terrific couple of weeks of footy.
You know you're alive when you're an 18-year-old and you're standing on the full-back position with no one in front of you.
Deep in St Kilda's attacking area, Hamill took clean possession. Peckett to the top of the square. Polak played it pretty well. A chance though for Gehrig. Needs to get his arms free. Good pressure by the Fremantle Dockers defence. They force another throw-in.
They'll try and set something up here. Obviously, the Saints, I reckon they'll try and make some space between the goals. Oh, no, they haven't. Fraser's gone forward. I thought they would have tried to rush this one forward.
17-point margin. Fremantle in charge. Simmons won it a little dangerously. Polak, decisive thump. Headland couldn't gather. Powell sets up Harvey. They've got Rewalt loose inside the 50, but they're unable to bring it back. Good pressure by the Dockers. And Waterhouse, who's onto the ground this afternoon, takes a mark at half-back.
Could have been danger for the Saints, but Clark picked off the kick, and from 65, tumbles it back to the goal square. Mill will get the free kick. Costly turnover at half-back for the Dockers, because if Waterhouse's kick had hit its target, they were away. Simmons comes off, replaced by Sandilands.
Yeah, Grover's just hung on there, not his respective opponent, but I reckon when you start hanging on, it's normally an indication that you're intimidated by pace. Grover would have realised that, you know, obviously Milne is quicker, but good body positioning from the little bloke. Yeah, that's how he gets his weekly check from creating goals from nothing.
He's got 2 behinds this afternoon. Stephen Milne pops it through, and the Saints are well and truly back in this contest.
And I'm just getting the indication it is going to be a free-flowing game. I mean, I think St Kilda are trying to tighten up Fremantle at that centre bounce, get a lot of numbers in from the sides, but in general play it is pretty open. The balls come into, you know, the front half of Fremantle and St Kilda's forward line, and their free kicks or marks awarded. They've been easy shots at goals.
Momentum swung back St Kilda's way. Inside 50s were about 5-all at one stage. It was then 11-5.
New ruckman there, Sandy Lands and Capuano having a crack.
And now it's 14-12. So St Kilda had most of the last 5 or 6 minutes of play at their end of the ground. Capuano to Harvey. Towards the 50 again. McManus goes back. Takes the mark. Flips it over the top to Bell for his 6th touch. Oh, kicks it into Peckett, then gets it back. Releases McManus. High kick to half forward. Coops will come across the top. Great effort in front. Won himself the free kick. Capuano. Crowd booing, thinking the mark was paid. It was actually for over the shoulder. Capuano short to Harvey. The Saints switch play. Dangerous. Dangerous. Here's Farmer. Look up dangerous in the dictionary and you'll see a picture of this man. He runs to 30 metres out. And you might look up wasteful as well. He's got 2 entries. Farmer misses. Disappointing finish from him. That really is his bread and butter. And the Saints dodge a bullet late in the term.
Freo's zone has been pretty good. A little short one from Aussie. Just break it up. Good play.
Across to Hudson. Powell, who's been dangerous as well in this opening term. Puts it in front of Peckett. With him is McManus. Both players competing pretty well. Black got a problem, had an arm pinned. The umpire very generous on that occasion. And still, no free kick awarded, and Dockers supporters.
Is Heath Black disposed of this ball correctly? Maybe. I reckon he got a little right hand in there.
Just. Byron Shammer doing a terrific job. Dying stages, opening term from Subiaco. The Dockers started brilliantly, but the Saints have steadied. Capuano, Headland. We've got another ball up just slightly forward of the centre wing to the St Kilda end.
Good setup that the Saints have got, though, in the forward line. They have got Rewalt one out with Polak, and there's a lot of space for him to run into.
Paul Hazelby takes a breather. Sanderlands.
Umpire's down.
He has gone down. Interesting to see how Clark across to Black. Penetrating left foot kick. Rewalt on the charge. No mark taken. Aussie Jones hits a pack hard. Gehrig scoops it out the back. Hayden takes it. Troy Cook back with the fly. Got numbers inside. Troy Cook. What's a change play? Hayden. Maybe one last chance for Fremantle to kick a goal in this opening term. Woods can get it over the top to Bell. Here's their opportunity right here and now. Peter Bell through the wing. One bounce. Drives a pass. Hudson across just in the nick of time. Put his body on the line and prevented an opportunity for Jeffrey Farmer.
And came off his man, so that's good team play from Maxi. Just have a look at Stephen Milne here. Oh, he wasn't even looking, so I think he'll be okay.
Capuano, the tap. Farmer flips it over the top. 15 seconds remaining. It comes back to Clive. Need to mark the Dockers. Headland's in position. One hand to it, couldn't bring it down. Walker tries to slip through traffic. Dishes to Headland. Stands and delivers. And misses to the left-hand side. And that is it for the opening term. Entertaining contest at Subiaco. Dockers snuck away. St Kilda reeled them in. But at quarter time, it is still the home side with a 13-point advantage. Fremantle 5-4-34. The Saints 3-3-21.
Fraser and Nick Rewalt having the forward half has been really interesting. Lenny Hayes has actually got Matthew Carr. Interesting that Simmons has gone forward and they've gone with Sandilands in the ruck trio. Trying to get a mismatch there with Troy Simmons at full forward.
Clearances in the opening term 13-7 in favour of the Saints. So they were doing well around the stoppages. As we start the second term, it's the Dockers leading by 13 points. Sandilands against Kazitsky. Kazitsky the tap, but straight down to Hazelby, who pumped a handball to Headland. He dumps it inside 50. Hutchton tracking back with Medhurst. Medhurst with pace. Hutchton lost in the traffic. Couldn't quite keep it in. We'll have a throw in at the forward 50 for the Dockers. 8 touches to Bell, Hayden, Headland and Pavlich in the opening term for Fremantle. While for the Saints, Harvey 9, Powell 9, Hayes 7, Black and Clark 6. Simmons palmed it down to Hazelby for another touch. High ball to the goal square. Chance for the Dockers. Kazitsky got his hands on it, taken by Harvey. Thumps it wide to open space. And the ball trickles out of bounds.
Yeah, that was a good set play, wasn't it? Simmons actually started at full forward, did that boundary throw in, and as that was in progress, Sandilands has actually bolted to the full forward position. Just couldn't quite grab the mark. A good set play.
Southerly breeze here at Subiaco, slightly favouring the end to which the Dockers are kicking. Headland swoops, left foot round his body. Not enough.
You just cannot allow him to put the defender behind him, Desi Headland. Just got to run with him and be tight the entire time. He's too dangerous.
Aussie Jones brings the ball back in. Sandilands taken away by Heath Black. Makes about 25 metres. The ball will be tossed back in. Clive Waterhouse sits out the action. 14-point margin. Fremantle Dockers over St Kilda. Both teams on a roll. Hazelby,
It's a free. Yep.
We'll go back to the Fremantle Dockers.
So I talked about intimidated by pace, but Sandilands, geez, intimidating just by stature. Just gets his body in front of Kositsky. Very, very difficult to get around. He's a powerful man.
Free kick so far, 6-3.
Doesn't want to kick it, though.
And Sandilands drives Fremantle to half forward. Clark in best position, uncontested, runs away, uses Kazicki, off to Thompson, looks upfield, not a lot to kick to. Gehrig alongside Woods. Woods plays it very nicely, comes out the back. Sandilands bends down the big fellow, across to Grover. They work it out well to Carr. Hard up against the boundary, steps inside, looks for options. Polak's one of them from half back with confidence. He charges through the centre square. Ball dropping short. Medhurst at the front. Hudson from behind. Clark again with dash. Gaining in confidence. Chips it short. Peckett has to stand and wait. Gets it across to Black. The Saints on a roll here.
Well run, son.
Here comes Clark. A bounce. Towards the pocket, ill-directed. And Dion Woods standing his ground. Fraser Gehrig, a shake of the head.
Clark just confronted there at half forward, uncertain of his options, and missed the body.
But he goes for his shots, doesn't he? He reminds me of Gavin Wanganeen. Back in 1993, was in the back pocket for Essendon.
It's a half-back for the Dockers. Grover around the boundary line, finds Hazelby. Ninth touch for Paul Hazelby over the top to Headland, who's pushed forward. Can flip it over the top to Bell. Bell runs inside 50. He runs to 35, the skipper, and hammers it through for a goal. Good hard running from the Dockers once again. Set up off half-back. Plenty of room through the middle for them to work into. And Peter Bell just runs all day. Ninth possession and his first goal.
Yeah, and Headland playing a part in that as well. He's up to 10 disposals, and when he's getting free ball, look, Freo are a lot better side. See, Robert Harvey, he might just come into picture, maybe not. He's about 10 metres behind. He's going toe-to-toe with Peter Bell. Not his greatest strength, Robert Harvey, to pick up a player, normally an accumulator himself.
The margin back out to 20 points. Danger time again for the Saints. Capuano jumped early. Sandilands won it at ground level. Kick smothered by Rewalt. Hazelby tried to slap it on. Walker in there through his hands. Gathered by Hayes. Flips it to Rewalt. Toward half forward, Gehrig will attack the ball. Woods flashed across the screen. McManus taken down. Gehrig goes again. Illegally got into his back with the second tackle.
Interesting that Rewalt actually started that centre bounce in the middle. That's his opponent who just received the ball. Now Polak. Oh. But very versatile Rewalt to start in the centre bounce.
Hadrell to McManus. Inside 50. Pavlich across the front of the contest. Hazelby lurking with intent. We couldn't gather as Polak will come to the bench. In a change for Fremantle, Trent Crowe returning to the game.
Robbie Hadrell's doing a pretty good job on Aaron Hamill as well. Hamill only with the 4 disposals at this stage.
And yet to have an impact. Hazelby to try and gather inside the line. Fed it to Pavlich. Ball goes over once again. So the Dockers snuck out to a 23-point lead at the 17-minute mark of the opening term. St Kilda reeled them in, back to 13 points. Now it's back out to 20. Important time for the Saints. Rewalt, outside defensive 50 to Black. Spins out of trouble. Handball in the path of Harvey for his 11th touch. To Jones. They work it round the outer side. Gehrig led Woods to the ball again, but Woods did well. Closed late. Cook. Walker. Pulls his kick. Does it well to Pavlich. Headland again pushing forward. Pavlich will go further afield. Goes high to the goal square. Long mural fly from the back. Good fist from Penny. And Hayes to tidy up for the Saints. It's a 2-on-2. Rewalt with size. Had the advantage in the air and took it.
So I reckon he's been thrown in there just to give Desi Headland something to think about. So good coaching by Thomas.
Rewalt, who picked up 3 Brownlow votes the last time these sides met. Picks out Harvey with time to measure the pass into the pocket. No mark taken. Milne off the ground. Tries to invent a goal. Stephen Milne, ever dangerous. In front of the big sticks. Waterhouse, who's had a up and down day so far. The kick in, McManus can't control it. And the ball will be thrown back into play. Fremantle Dockers. And this man, terrific last week, with 7 kicks so far this afternoon. Sandilands from the side. Rewalt comes in, gathered by Pickett. Left foot kick, bending it back. Shepherd required. It's through for a goal, is it? Yes. It crosses the line. Fantastic effort by Justin Pickett.
Andrew, that's a classic example of just reading your opponent's ruck tap. Sandilands is probably going to get 90% of the taps when he's in there, and Justin Pickett has realised that. He has hit that ball at absolute pace. You see Sandilands just winning that tap. McManus behind him. When you've got your player on non-goal side, you've got a free shot at goal, but a great finish as well with his left. But just good experience reading of the play.
Well, the Dockers lead the hit-outs 14-9. St Kilda lead the clearances 16-11. So the Saints are reading the Fremantle ruckman very well. Capuano dives on top of it. Umpire calls play on.
Just another example of Saints. You see all the yellow jumpers around the footy. They're just bolting off the square and just not allowing Sandilands, with his dominance of the tap, to actually get on tap. You see, Harvey's been pretty good. Hazeby coming into the game, and Headland getting a lot of free ball.
Rewalt with his bootlaces. Walker just flips it into open space. Umpire said he threw it. Jones to Rewalt. The ball's going to come back because it's Robert Harvey's free kick. So the Dockers by 13 points. That was a crucial goal for the Saints, that last one. Just keeps the deficit manageable for them. And here's Peckett. Had 20 possessions in a half of football, essentially, last week against the Blues. Kicks towards Gehrig at half forward. Out he comes. Waterhouse went back. Gehrig kept his eyes on the football.
He wants someone to come at him.
From 55 metres out, goes to the lead of Goddard. Courageous in front. It's Roger Hayden. And again, the Fremantle fans just reminding the umpires of the free kick count. Hayden has it. Goes short to the outer side and finds Sandilands. Thought about giving it back to Hayden. Thinks about it again. Still mulling it over. And eventually does. Goes looking for Simmons around the outer side, does Hayden. And he doesn't let him down. 6 touch, 4 marks for Troy Simmons. He goes laterally. Dangerous kick. Hadrill had to attack it. Lawrence there for the Saints. Cavalry arrived for Robert Hadrill. Hamill. Numbers will eventually win out for the Dockers. Sandilands goes to the wing. Clark flew. Got an important hand on the ball. Kaczynski worked it backwards looking for Penny, but it was picked off by Headland. Across his body well to Carr. Released him to 50. Goddard in 2 minds. Does he go at him or not? He does now, but it's too late. And Carr kicks the goal. Nice finish from Matthew Carr. And the Dockers bounce back out to a 19-point lead.
And, gee, the midfielders are getting a lot of ball, but I reckon Fremantle at this stage be pretty happy with the matchup of Carr on Lenny Hayes. Lenny Hayes has been good, but, gee, it hurts when your opponent has a real accountable role goes forward and kicks a goal. We saw that with Peter Bell and Robert Harvey as well.
Just like the opening term, the Fremantle Dockers have started very brightly. The Saints with the job to pull back this lead. Currently at 19 points. Sandilands with a distinct height advantage. Pavlich going nowhere. The Dockers working with the breeze. Thompson waits for his chance. Big pack around this footy. Comes out to Bell. Numbers back with the ball. Play for Fremantle. Carr put his teammate under all sorts of pressure. And Crone. Peckett gathers. Hooks it around his body. Well, Hayes wasn't ready for it. Turned his back. Took the mark. Gives it across to Clark. Streaming goalwards. Open goal squared. Gehrig on his chest. And that swirling ball creating havoc for the Fremantle Dockers defence. And Fraser Gehrig kept his eyes on it. And will benefit with a goal. Point blank range. And the Saints get a much-needed goal. Gehrig gets his second.
Again, some reasonable easy ball. Xavier's been pretty good. Easy ball midfield, and it's come in, and this is, I guess, the matchup with Woods on Gehrig with a long ball coming in, which isn't Dion's strength. He's fine on the lead. He can keep up with anyone, but in a stationary contest, Fraser on Dion Woods will always win.
Woods giving up 4 centimetres, but more importantly, 16 kilos to Fraser Gehrig. Double ruck change. Capuano off. Sandilands off as well. So it'll be Simmons and Kaczynski in the ruck. Kaczynski did it well. Palmed it down to Harvey. 14th touch. Inside 50. Only momentarily. Picked off by Polak. To McManus. He's got Bell over the top. If he can keep it in, he can't. And an opportunity goes begging for the Dockers. They lead by 13 points. Midway through this second term.
Another interesting matchup is Max Hutchin on Paul Medhurst. A lot taller Max than Medhurst. Medhurst good in the air. He's only had the one disposal thus far.
Throw in. Ball. Grover spun around. Got it to Hazelby. McManus has tackled again. Good hard work from the Saints defensively. Thompson to Peckett. Gets it out to Black. Black to half forward, but it is all Dockers down there. Hadrill. He's got 3 men in support. Gives it to Polak, who shares it with Bell. Thought about coming to this side, switched his mind, and eventually did. Pavlich. Over the top to Woods. They've created the loose man now. If Woods can go to Carr. Nice touch from Matthew Carr to 50, and Simmons is pushed forward. He can play on. Grab the 40, Troy Simmons, and sneaks it through. Good hard running from Troy Simmons. He contested the ruck contest down at half-back. Just push forward. The Dockers worked their way. They went via the Cape bend, but that gave Simmons time to push forward and get inside 50.
Yeah, but there's about 5 or 6 possessions from deep in defence, and the worrying sign from the Saints' point of view is that they actually haven't looked like touching the footy. Just gone coast to coast. Good little spot-up skills from Freo, and a good finish from Simmons. He kept his focus on the goal, even though Baker was coming into him at a rate of knots. He's got great fitness, hasn't had a huge amount of the footy, but his endurance will no doubt be really important this match.
What a wonderful recruit Troy Simmons has been since coming across from Melbourne. Walker, Crowe's kick was run down. Thompson gives it to Harvey, tumbles a kick to full forward.
Well done, Robbie.
McManus collide. Handled it well to Woods. Playing with confidence now, the Fremantle Dockers. Bell has run free. Pavlich is further afield. Uses that player now. One bounce. Approaches the 50. A centering kick. Penny in best position. Juggles the mark. Had to take it. And he did. Over the top to Baker. Saints have to be careful here. Lead approaching dangerous proportions.
Harvey coming up to his 16 possessions here, Mark. His opponent, Peter Bell, with 12.
Looking for Hamill. We've got a hand in. So too Hadrill. Defensively, knocks it away. Simmons infringed.
Garrett's one out with Polak forward. He'll have to get it in quick or he goes short.
Lenny Hayes has found Rewalt free, the big fellow. Has time to assess his options, one of which was go for home. He didn't really kick it like a man who thought the goal was forthcoming.
Yeah, I reckon Gehrig was on there. Just had to spot a little 35-metre pass, and he was one out. Would have been the option, I would have thought.
18 points the margin. 16 minutes gone, second term. Hadrill up the middle. Finds Polak unattended. Wants to handball to Woods, and does. He switches play, finds McManus. Woods runs on for him, but Rewalt will pick him up, so now they'll switch back. Hadrill. Switch to the other side, just looking to create the loose man, and they've done it well, because Walker's got it. He's got a man further afield, ignored him. Kick was touched, and the opportunity was wasted. No mark, it was touched off the boot. Maguire taken down. Umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt, and they'll have a bounce. They did well to create the loose man, but couldn't convert the opportunity on that occasion, the Dockers. Simmons and Kaczynski. Rewalt over the top. Down to Powell. To Black. Round the outer side. Pollack in front of Gehrig. Couldn't bring it down. Thompson. Ball. Clever little give to Gehrig. Screws it inside 50. Tracking back as Woods. Did well. Squares it to Bell. They've got a man in space here. It will be Headland. He'll go short to McManus. Pickett did well. Zone back, got onto Headland. As McManus flips it back to Bell. He goes wide to Medhurst for his second touch up on the wing.
How far do you reckon Peter Bell and Robert Harvey have run today?
Squares it up to Pavlich. Wants to take Kosicki on. Does so. Just gets the bounce back, but ran himself into trouble. Headland flips it back to Walker. Taken high, and we'll get a free kick. It's been indirect from the Dockers in the last 5 or so minutes. But they are controlling the football at the moment. James Walker. Simmons in the pocket. Longmuir there as well. And the third man up was Crow. Plenty of tall timber to choose from. And Crow takes his first mark for the afternoon.
Yeah, and I've kicked it towards Longmuir and Crow, probably just obviously to try and get one of them on. Waterhouse coming off for a breather, and Hayes will be back on. But I reckon Longmuir just might have assisted Crow with that mark.
Crow's kicked 2 behinds this afternoon. Kicks at that one. Gave it a half-hearted fist pump. But he knew, really.
There's Bell and Harvey together. Just amazing. Harvey 16, Bell up to 14. And I don't think we've seen in the last 10 years many players who would have run harder than those two boys.
So 3 behinds this afternoon to Trent Crow. The margin now 19 points.
Kick in. Finds Penny, who's been put under plenty of pressure in this opening half. Looks for Black. The ball swirling in the breeze. At the front, Farmer. With him is Powell. Farmer tries to control it, but Powell defensively knocks it over.
They manned up pretty well there, Freo. In general play, I reckon the contrast is when the ball's coming from Freo's back line, Desi coming off for a breather and Troy Cook coming on. There's a lot of loose plays for Freo midfield.
Chris Connolly's rotation system landing in place. Heath Black spiral the kick over the head of Ball and Hadrill. Clever hand by Hamill. Finds Ball back to Hamill. The Saints looking promising now, moving forward through the boot of Thompson. Rewalt, well played there by Woods. Didn't get into the back of the Saints forward. McManus.
It's easy ball.
Clearing kick, and Hazelby in the clear to Simmons. Onto his trusty left side. Drives it inside the 50. Longmuir couldn't hang on. Harvey was taken high. Goddard under pressure, turns it over. Walker 45 metres out. Should have done better. Misses to the left-hand side. 20-point margin. And the Saints under pressure in the latter stages of this opening half.
Ben, I think we're seeing why the Dockers have such a great record against Victorian sides at Subiaco. It's the biggest ground in the AFL, and they use the space very, very well to get clear.
They understand they've got a lot of good athletes amongst their 18 on the ground at any one time, haven't they?
Jones goes short to Harvey for his 17th touch. To Black. To the outer side. And Kosicki this time sneaks away from Simmons.
Just need some run from half-back, the Saints.
Baker offers an option. He goes shorter to Powell.
It's a little bit stop-start for mine.
Powell will switch to Penny. Now to create to Jones. They've got the loose man going. It's Hudson. On centre wing. Looks up. Gehrig offers the long lead. Stretches to get there.
Ooh.
Got there in the end and dropped it.
Some suggestion he's fitness, not all it should be, with some leg problems.
Had some problems with his foot last couple of weeks, Fraser Gehrig. Hampered him last week. Be appreciating the fact the Subi surface has just got a bit of sting out of it with plenty of rain during the week. Hamill flips it back to Ball. Tries to square it up. Woods attacks it. The bounce goes out. Stephen Baker and Byron Shammer on centre wing. They must be 100 metres off the ball, just doing a bit of bumping and shoving each other. Stephen Baker welcoming Byron Shammer back into the contest. Went right to the boundary line, awaited his arrival, and put body on body immediately. Rewalt took it out of the ruck, tried to give it to Peckett. Did so in the second attempt. Peckett snaps at goal. couldn't quite jag that one. Kicked a beauty early in the term. Misses to the left-hand side. There's Baker and Shammer. Byron Shammer, Fremantle's #1 draft pick last season, taken at 13 overall. The Dockers were rapt that he was still in the draft at that stage. Hadrill, kick was a shocker. Milne played on, could have gone back, decided to play on himself and misses. Rush of blood from Stephen Milne, who's now kicked 1 goal 4.
Geez, if you're ever in doubt when you've taken a mark inside 50, you just go back and have the set shot, don't you? I know forward pockets are a different personality sometimes, but gee, he just should have taken the set shot.
Hadrill dodges a bullet, decides to go longer this time. Polak slapped it to the advantage of Walker. Got through the traffic, but a free kick behind, just off the ball. Aussie Jones taken high. So 5 minutes remaining. The Saints need the next goal. They trail by 18 points. It's inside 50. Grover flew high over the top of Rewalt. McManus through traffic to Bell. Bell could go short to Polak. And the Dockers hold at half-back.
Saints need to make sure that they've all got a man. This is, I reckon, where they've been let down. Just Polak will wait for someone to pop up. Fremantle will try and generate a loose player midfield, but they've just got to have a team discipline of playing one-on-one.
This time it was Grover's hard running that created some space. Kicks around the wing. Sandilands did well. Gathered it inside the boundary line, but gave it up to Aussie Jones. It's going to come back to Grover, and they'll do it all again. 4.5 minutes remaining till half-time. Important part of the game. The Dockers lead by 3 goals. Another one here, and it'll give St Kilda plenty to think about. Yet if the Saints can get it, the game's well and truly back on.
They're normally pretty patient here, though, Freo. They just wait for a teammate to pop up, even though it may only be a 20-metre kick. Walk along on this occasion.
Around the wing, 2 St Kilda players there, and Gehrig takes the mark. Can the Saints now counter-attack? 50. That will help. A bit of miscommunication there, I think, between a couple of the Dockers, and Longmuir encroached over the mark as Medhurst comes to the bench. Just the 2 touches for him.
Yeah, Max has done a good job, hasn't he?
So chance for the Saints. Through Gehrig, a high kick inside 50. Working hard to get there was Ball. One of those horrible situations. Polak saw it off the boot, was striving to get to the drop zone, couldn't. And Luke Ball took an uncontested mark about 45 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
Gee, that's frustrating, isn't it? There's a 50-metre penalty, so there's plenty of time to go back and pick up a player. Polak's not playing on ball, but for him to be loose, Connolly would be spewing at the stage.
And Longmuir's coming to the bench as a result. Luke Ball kicked 4 goals for in his 8 games of league football. Taken at #2 in the 2001 draft. From inside 50. Misses to the right-hand side.
St Kilda's zones, when Freo have been kicking out, have been pretty good. Robbie Hadrill's normally been forced to go long, which I think is normally a good sign that St Kilda plays in the zone or in the right spot.
Important 3 minutes here for both sides, particularly St Kilda. Polak the target, Black over the top. The ball will be tossed in just outside the 50 for St Kilda.
And they'd be happy with that, the Saints. They've got the ball still basically in their forward 50.
The margin 17 points. From the throw-in, comes across to Peckett from Hayes. Bounce is crucial here. Gehrig tried to work Hadrill off the ball. Here's Milne, danger coming. Hayden did brilliantly. Little give, intended for Carr. Coops in support, back to Carr. They work it out well. And Walker, now with time and space on his side.
Hooks free in the middle.
Couple of bounces. He heard the call of Ben Allen. Inside the centre square. Troy Cook delivers long. Pavlich in front. Goddard, the fist in there. Farmer goes to ground. Crode, toe poach it forward, off hands, and a quick transference of play. Some running repairs for Fraser Gehrig. Robert Harvey. Terrific in getting his hands on the football.
Who's tagging to who there? Harvey or Bell?
32 possessions between them, if you don't mind, in the first half. Man in question over the football, ridden into the ground by the other man in question, Peter Bell. Kaczynski very tenderly getting to his feet and in some trouble.
Gee, they'd be worried about that because he's got to continue to have a crack against Sandilands and Simmons. looks in trouble.
Still being attended to by a couple of trainers. Sandilands into the path of Bell. Hands it across to Pavlich. Open goal! And Pav does the rest. Matthew Pavlich gets his second, and the Dockers break it open. Right on the verge of half-time as Kaczynski limps off. Hope you're enjoying this game right around Australia on Fox Footy. And Ben, as we spoke about, we saw the impact of no Kaczynski immediately.
Yeah, I mean, Sandilands could basically do what he wanted with that ball. I mean, there's the injury. Kaczynski just, I don't know, might have done a groin there just with an unusual movement of his right leg. It's a worrying sign.
So Justin Kaczynski to the interchange bench. We've got a report from Michael Thompson shortly. The Dockers back out to that 23-point lead they enjoyed midway through the first term. Ruck infringement going the way of the Saints, Ben.
That was a raffle.
Capuano to Burke to half forward. The Saints need one back.
He's been pretty good, Peckett, hasn't he? He's got a fair bit of ball across the half-forward line for him.
12 touches for Justin Peckett, hitting a rich vein of form. Inside 50, Polak stands tall, as he has done the last couple of weeks. He really is starting to blossom, Graham Polak, and he's starting to see some signs that this young man could end up being one of the best defenders in the competition. Cook to the outer side, Sandilands and Capuano. Neither could quite bring it down. Here's Peckett again. Through the middle. Looks for a target and finds Hamill. 7th touch for the skipper. They go to the top of the goal square. Ball will go again. Flips it out. Gehrig tries to underground handball to Milne. And Hayden there to concede the rush behind.
Gee, that was great presence from young Ball. Had one hand on the top of the footy and with his right fist just belted it forward to a teammate. You can't actually pick that up at too many coaching clinics. You've either got that presence or you haven't.
Frustrating afternoon for Stephen Milne thus far. Coming back from a 2-week suspension. He's had 7 possessions and kicked 1 goal for. Polak again. Another mark. 8 possessions, 7 marks for Graham Polak. The 18-year-old. Goes short to Pavlich. His 14th touch. Shares it again with Polak. As the Dockers have done regularly this afternoon. This is a dangerous kick. Hayden did well. Got it to Headland. And with 25 seconds left in the second term, the Dockers are a chance. Important kick from Headland. Walker stood tall between two. Brought it to ground. Cook to Grover. He is a thumping kick from outside 50. Wasn't balanced as he made contact. And out of bounds on the full. Brendan Goddard with the kick. Back into play as we head down to Michael Thompson.
Kaczynski, left ankle, has taken the boot off. They're now re-strapping it to left ankle, and they're reasonably optimistic that he'll be able to go back on.
Goddard outside 50 to Harvey. Dying seconds of the term. He chips it over to Powell. And that is it for the first half here at Subiaco. Chris Connolly will go to the break reasonably happy. His side has re-established that lead that they held midway through the opening term. It's Fremantle 9-7-61, the Saints 5-9-39. The Dockers adding 4 goals 3 in that term. The Saints adding 2 goals 6. At the major break here at Subi, it's the Dockers by 22 points. In the opening half for Nick Rewalt, 1 behind. Clive Waterhouse, another quiet opening, just 2 possessions for him. So as you mentioned, with Crode 5 touches, Farmer 3, Longmuir 3, Medhurst 2, Waterhouse 2. None of their key forwards really firing in the opening half.
And you get the feeling, Ben, once Luke McFarlane's ready to come back, it may come down to either Clive Waterhouse or Trent Crode in this starting lineup.
It's interesting. I guess those players, Farmer, Crode, Waterhouse, they are dynamic. They can, at you know, just the click of the fingers, really turn it on. So you know, maybe those 2 boys in question can have just a little good spot this quarter.
They don't need a lot of possessions to do some damage either. It's the Dockers by 22 points. A big term for the Saints coming up. We start the third quarter. Capuano and Simmons collide in the middle. Through the legs of Harvey. Powell dished it to Black. Shrugged a tackle. Kicks to centre half forward. Rewalt the target. Woods impressive. More and more so as the weeks go on. Kicks to the advantage of Pavlich to run onto for his 15th possession. Matthew Pavlich. to half forward. His man did the right thing and snuck away Carr, but the kick missed the body and found Lenny Hayes for his 14th touch. He goes to Harvey. Capuano screaming for it in the middle. Harvey elects to go down the line. Rewalt's presented himself and he honours that lead. Rewalt thumps it inside 50. Gehrig will come from behind. Polak, an important fist in there. Hadrell to tidy up. Across his body to the run of Bell. Clark will emerge from the right of screen. Bell took on 3, did well. Back to Hadrell. Now to Hayden. Feeds the handball to Cook. And eventually they work it back to Bell and get him into some space. He goes short and finds Simmons at half back.
Fremantle Dockers have numbers out wide. Farmer calls Woods out of the contest, or out of the mark at least. Now shares it. Headland is loose forward of the wing. Can be damaging from here, the Fremantle Dockers. Hazelby out in front of his face. Grover floating forward, has it at 50, can go. He chooses to do just that, off the right boot. Disappointing finish. Boundary side, Michael Thompson has the latest on Justin Kosicki.
Yes, thanks, Mark. Disappointing finish, disappointing result. You can see Justin walking off there. He won't take any further part in this game. Really an unfortunate end to the match for him.
Huge blow for him and the club. The AFL Rising Star of 2001 off the ground. Maguire at the front. Bell with terrific pressure. A second chance for the skipper. Through traffic. Tries to beat 3 Saints. Across to Farmer. There's a push in the back. It'll go to the Fremantle Dockers.
Peter Bell.
He worked very hard in that passage of play. We'll go back, shoot on goal from about 40 metres.
Oh, it's gone to Farmer. I didn't realise. Whose kick is it? Farmer's. Gee, that was soft, wasn't it?
I would have thought it was Bell's. I was with you. I thought Farmer was just trying to claim it.
Gee, his work rate is incredible, though, Peter Bell. I mean, he does a lot of swooping up down in the back half, but he's got the ability to understand when to push forward at the appropriate time.
This will hurt the Saints. Early stages, third quarter, and Farmer slots it home for a goal. He's got a couple.
It's an important period, isn't it, for St Kilda? We know Freo, Jace said, half-time have had pretty good third quarters this match. Nothing too complicated about this, just getting the ball forward. I mean, Bell was carried forward in the tackle.
Ooh,
and that was on the side, so...
I reckon he's got the wrong bloke, Ben.
Yeah, I think he has. 132, 133 in jumper numbers. Maybe that was where the error occurred.
Jeff Farmer might have just snuck that one. I think it might have been Peter Bell's kick. The result is a good one for the Dockers. It's a goal.
He's picking his own teammates' pockets.
The margin out to 29 points, the biggest of the game. Simmons to Hazelby. Danger signs going off for the Saints. Ball pitched it, went inside 50. McManus goes back and takes the mark. Positions this quarter 18-6 in favour of the Dockers. Once again, they've hit the ground running in the third term. Hayden to Cook. And Troy Cook lining up for his 11th touch. We saw Des Headland working hard to get to that contest. Goes past Carr and Aussie Jones and trickles out. Xavier Clark, there's a lap of the cameraman for us. Throw in. Uncontested possessions, as you can see. The Dockers have been so good at just manufacturing open space for themselves. Hayes, the fend-off. Made a habit of that in recent times, really starting to perfect that art. The old don't argue, Lenny Hayes. Good mark taken by Woods. He's from a rugby league background, Lenny Hayes, grew up in New South Wales. He uses the fend-off to great effect. The ball's now with Woods. Growing in confidence at senior level. To half forward. Hudson flew early. Longmuir timed it the better. It's got it 60 metres out from goal. Had Cook on short. Felt the Saints zone could cover that kick. So now he pops it up again to the top of the square. Clyde's in the middle of that pack. Almost brought it down. Hazelby flipped it out. Baker missed the body of Powell. Maguire to tidy up for the Saints, and he goes wide to Gehrig.
He got a man over the top in black. Finds him now. Heath Black Good spot up to Harvey. Damaging player this afternoon. Delivers to half-forward Hamill. Thompson cannons into his captain. Terrific tackle on ball by Hadrill. It'll be a bounce, but Robbie Hadrill did exactly what was required.
Well, he's taken Hamill on the lead then, and then followed up with a fantastic tackle. It was actually one out with Hamill. Hamill's had a quiet match. He was sensational last week for St Kilda. Gehrig just pushing forward now in full forward, but Robbie Hadrill's had a great match.
Simmons taken by Powell. A chance for Thompson. Can't get a handle on it. Burke gets the hand pass to Harvey like an eel. Slips through traffic. Back to Thompson. Can straighten up. 30 metres out. The Saints desperately needed that.
And Robert Harvey can be so damaging with his disposal. I mean, he's already had a couple of possessions forward of centre. He was the one that dished that off. Gee, I'd be encouraging him just to run forward at every occasion and just make Peter Bell a lot more accountable. I mean, he just shrugs his hips as he has done so often. He attracts the defence. Good little layoff and good finish to Thompson. So I reckon forward of centre, Harvey, just try and get the pill in that area.
So Andrew Thompson kicks his third goal of season 2003. And the Saints with a badly needed goal. Let's head boundary side, though. They could have some problems. Here's Michael Thompson. Get back to Tomo shortly. Nick Riewoldt getting some work done. Woods. To half forward. Medhurst and Hutchton. Ricochets off the contest to Hayes. 16th touch for Lenny Hayes. Over the top to Powell. To the run of Harvey again, getting forward to the middle. Such a good architect, Robert Harvey. To ball. Thought about playing on and slipped. Will now have to go back.
Heath Black's on, he can hoof it.
Ooh, thought about it, almost gave it. Luke Ball wants to load up and give it everything he's got. Didn't make clean contact. It goes to the goal square. Hamill had the sit, strong body. Just held his man under the football and takes the mark. Ben, you're motioning for him to settle down and go back and kick it.
Yeah, he's experienced. He'll just come out to the right. Hadrill's been very good on Hamill on the lead.
And Hamill bends it around the body, and the Saints breathe again at Subi.
Been very good on the lead. Grant Thomas been pretty happy with that comeback, the last two goals, but that one was just a show of strength. Hadrill wasn't a great kick from ball, but I guess it's to a dangerous position. Hadrill trying to work back and probably lost sight of the footy. And Hamill, I guess, as a skipper, he's realised at half-time he hasn't had a great match and needs just to do a little bit to get his young Saints charges up and running again.
Two quick goals to the Saints, the margin back to 17 points.
At various stages this afternoon, the Saints appeared in danger. They've been blown away at Subiaco, but they've hung in there. Still in the contest very much. Cook. Woods ran into trouble. The Saints can charge forward through Thompson. Now Heath Black can come inside. Penetrate with the left boot. Into the pocket. Gehrig over the top. Cleverly done by Grover. To Hayden. Peter Bell. Wants to take on Powell. Ambitious. Got away with it. Another bounce. To the 50. And they've turned it over. Capuano. Cruising past was Hayes. Chips very short. Taken well by Ball. Across to Powell. Gets his kick away inside the 50. Pavlich charges towards it. So too Milne. Off hands. Boundary throw in. Speaking of the boundary, here's Michael Thompson.
Yes, thanks, Mark. Nick Riewoldt off the ground for about 5 minutes now. Just had some problems with his thighs. They were sore. They were stretched. He's doing some more stretching himself. And we should see him back on the ground shortly.
Lead him back with Kaczynski apparently gone for the day. Simmons, shark by Peckett. Back feeds to Powell. Lost his footing at the crucial moment. Contest in the pocket. Hamill does well, but taken out by Hadrill.
Peckett's been good today, just roving the ball off hands. Probably done it 3 or 4 occasions. Aussie Jones walking on the boundary line, but St Kilda out of the middle this quarter have been very good.
They're deep inside their attacking zone here. Another chance to score a goal. Hamill chips it to half forward. Clark on the lead. Now the breeze has swung around. It'll take a good kick to put it to the goal line, but Xavier Clark likes to back himself. That's exactly what he's done here. Although off the side of the boot, Bounce is crucial. Through the hands of McManus. Allows Berkey with a chance. Spots a man. About 35 out. And Thompson has come across and can shoot to put St Kilda within a couple of kicks.
This is reminiscent of Fremantle's start to the game. Ball just coming into dangerous positions. They're getting hands on the ball, the St Kilda's forwards, and just generating shots.
Thompson's kick. He's very disappointed with that. Didn't perhaps have the right approach. Didn't make great contact. Minor score.
It's a strange one, that kick from Andrew Thompson. Almost like his ball drop wasn't straight. His boot had to go looking for the football.
It's a bit hard to stop halfway through the action, isn't it?
Hadrell outside the 50. Big pack of players off the hands of Capuano to Farmer at the back. Releases Headland. The Shepherd will come from Cook. That allows Headland just to sneak away. A couple of bounces around the member side of the ground. He runs to 65, does Des. Inside 50, beautiful kick. And Hazelby on the lead, 35 metres out. That's Des Headland's go. If he can get forward of the football, he's got such great finishing skills.
Got a great
really
little
can cut you up.
Yeah, got a great little block from Troy Cook, I think it was. Stephen Baker trying to run Des down, but Cook just giving Headland a couple of yards, and he could run about another 60 metres after that.
So Hazelby tries to work it back, but leaves it hanging to the right-hand side for a minor score. So the game's still delicately poised at 17 points. 12 minutes gone in the third. Black with the kick in. That's what he's got in front of him. Plenty of bodies moving in all directions. Maguire offers a long lead.
Great kick.
That's where it goes. It was a beautiful kick. As you saw, Medhurst and Hazelby were closing. Maguire has it just outside his own defensive 50. Goes looking for Hamill on the lead. Put body on body with Woods, but it was enough for the Dockers to get it to the boundary line. Leading stat getters in the game, still Harvey and Bell, both up to the 20 mark. And a good supporting cast in this contest. Capuano the tap. Hayes trying to get another possession and does. Was ineffective. Caught one high. Woods on hands and knees gave it up to Powell. To the 50. Milne working back with a flight against Hayden. Hayden did well. Pavlich to go off the ground. To his own advantage. Releases Woods. He can go over the top. To the big man. Aaron Sandilands. Elects not to run. Went looking for Hazelby. Here's Headland again on his own inside 50. Can go to Waterhouse in the pocket. Instead decides to go himself. Puts it out of bounds on the full.
Made images of Justin Madden back at Waverley.
1993 second semi against Adelaide.
Not to be on that occasion from Aaron Sandilands. Rewalt in the back pocket. The Saints just have to hang in tough here. Robert Harvey racking up countless possessions. Kicks down the line. Maguire has it at half back. Over the top, Hamill has to work hard. Juggling effort, did very well. And the ball tantalisingly close for Robert Hadrell. He couldn't get a fist on it. Hamill's kick. At the back, better judgment by Gehrig. Did he play on? He's been called. Well, did he move off the line? That's irrespective now because the umpire called play on Grover. Gets it away to Medhurst. A crucial turnover. Fremantle relieved momentarily. Wasteful by Paul Medhurst.
Yeah, another example. A mark inside 50. He's 30 metres out from goal, and he's just it's just a strange decision to try and balk for a handball, Fraser Gehrig.
Lapse of concentration. He's a very good kick generally, but perhaps that foot injury a concern. Maguire to Heath Black.
There's the mark.
Did he move up the line?
Took half a step.
Half a step.
Interesting one, though, was the umpire looked at him, thought about it, didn't call play on, and then did. And I think that was what confused Fraser Gehrig.
The kick by Black. Sandilands with no direct opponent. Nathan Burke fighting out of his weight division and height division. McManus to Woods, who's been terrific this afternoon. Hayden in space on the wing. The defender with a bounce. Surging forward, delivers in the direction of Longmuir. Clean bowls a few. At the back, Hazelby looks inside, pulls it across his body. At the back, Harvey couldn't mark. Bell opposed to him. Pack develops 25 metres out from Fremantle's goals.
Yeah, they're still generating some pretty good run off the half-back line, Fremantle. There's some easy releases out of that area. And just to the wings, they're able to get into their forward 50 continually quickly.
From the restart, Farmer lurks, going nowhere. Tries to squirt it out the back, going in a very short distance. Gets to his feet. The Saints in this quarter have kicked 2 goals. Fremantle just the one. This passage of play here. Just 35 out from Fremantle's goals. Hazelby around his body. It floats tantalisingly close to the goal line. Has it gone through? Don't tell me. The Saints didn't lay a hand on it.
Great little tap, wasn't it, from Justin Longmuir? That's the benefit of having him down there. He's a big body. He's a natural ruckman, and he got the thing down to Hazelby. I reckon it was poor play by Robert Harvey all the same. Good hand from Hazelby initially. He just had to kill that footy. Bell just got back into him, but he had to kill that ball in the air, had to throw himself at the ball, I believe.
Best described as a home brand kick there from Paul Hazel. We had no spin on it whatsoever, but that could be the biggest goal of the game. The margin back out to 23 points. Shammer wrapped up by ball. We'll do it all again in the middle of the ground. Simmons received some instructions from Chris Connolly. Coops went in the ruck, his third man up. Down to Headland. Got boot to ball. Bounces towards the 50. St Kilda again on the back foot. Penny did well, attacked it. Rewalt back on the ground, takes the mark. High ball inside 50. Milne sprints to get there. Burton waits at the base of the pack and took it to Thompson. Milne did the right thing. He skirted away from the contest. The kick from Thompson was a shocker and hit Hayden on the chest. Woods. The Saints just blowing a couple of opportunities in the third term.
Gee, Hayden and Woods have been fantastic down there again this week, haven't they?
He goes wide looking for Headland, who's starting to grow in confidence and prominence in this game. And he's won it again. Not sure how he got it to Shammer, but play on the call. Eventually it's out of bounds.
And Woods and Hayden, not only are they getting the ball down there, but they're actually playing on pretty good opponents. I mean, Milne's looked dangerous, but he's only kicked the 1 goal. Hayden's done a great job on him.
Just 7 touches for Stephen Milne, 1 goal 4. Sandilands again with the height advantage. Not really an effective tap on that occasion. Powell, it's where he's at his best, in close, wins the football and gets it to Harvey. Goes looking for Hamill. The Saints need a lift. The skipper takes a strong mark, 60 metres from goal.
Gehrig one out again.
Decides to square it up. A couple of options at centre half forward. One of them's Black. 65 metres out. Milne signals to kick it long to Gehrig. Black obliges. Gehrig will fly from the back. Body strength. He is just too strong for Polak.
It's a nice kick, though. Set up beautifully for Blake. When the ball's coming in like that, it just becomes a timing thing when you are the stronger player. Gehrig clearly, body on body, is stronger than Polak. Just stretching down. He didn't have his kicking boots on last week. I think he kicked 5 points, but he just can't give the goal away. Got to kick this inside the left post.
Gehrig converts for his third. Vital goal for the Saints. Fraser Gehrig, for the 2nd week in a row, is the man up forward for St Kilda. Not sure what's going on there exactly. Fraser Gehrig giving Aaron Hamill a little bit of the grandma treatment, minus the tissue. Well, I guess it comes under the category, Ben, of team bonding.
I'm not going there.
17 points the margin. We've had too much controversy here in WA this week.
But the Saints signs are looking good, aren't they? They're getting their hands on the ball forward of centre.
Back to a 17-point ball game at Subiaco. The Saints rallying. Lenny Hayes goes to ground. Ball somehow comes out to Carr. Throws it on the boot to the 50. Important hand from Penny. Coming across though is Shammer. Open goal square. The youngster hits the padding on the goal post. Stephen Milne coming off the ground.
That's a compliment to Hayden, isn't it?
A couple of big names watching this afternoon. Sir Richard Branson and Shane Warne, of course, who's joined the Saints in an unofficial capacity this season.
So Richard Branson met Michael Thompson at half-time.
Yes.
Big thrill.
Apparently so, or at least his accomplices were great for Michael to meet, I'm told. There's Rewalt. Shammer onto the boot. The Saints with the numbers in defence. Oh, very clumsy there by Crow. Surely 50 metres. It is.
I tell you, Hamill's starting to look good this quarter. He's taken a couple of strong grabs. Just see the free kick. That's silly. Not much in it, though, but I think the free kick was warranted. But if they can just get a couple of quality balls towards Hamill and Gehrig, they can kick a couple of quick goals, and this match is on.
Max Hutchinson inside the centre square. Off to Rewalt. To Black. He's got Clark over the top. Uses him now.
Powell's further up the ground.
Spots that player. Stephen Powell. Outside the 50. Aussie Jones is running for him. Shows a lot of the football to McManus. As a result, the spoil comes. Grover. Was he infringed? Doesn't matter. McManus finds Headland. Fremantle with a chance to surge forward themselves. Goddard spoils, almost paid the mark. He set up Hudson with the slick hand pass. Crow back into it. Kicks to Waterhouse on the stretch, and Clive has got one 50 metres out, tight angle.
Sandilands is on.
Big Clive, inside 50, looks for home, leans back and rams it home. Wonderful goal by Clive Waterhouse, and in the space of 15 seconds, he's thwarted the St Kilda charge.
Well, it's almost copybook Clive, isn't it? We haven't seen him for much of this match. Sandilands off for a breather and Simmons back on. Young Maguire looks a bit stiff there. But I guess that's the type of player Waterhouse is. He can really break this game open in a quick number of minutes because of his dynamic pace and his ability to kick the ball over a distance.
That's the difference between the two sides this afternoon, particularly in this third term. St Kilda have had a number of chances up forward and blown them. The Dockers go down the other end and make them pay. A trainer's gone down in the goal square. Waterhouse bumping his opponent and knocked the trainer over. Harvey out of the middle, wrapped up by Hadrell. And catch-up football becomes a greater burden as the afternoon goes on.
I think he wants to put a jumper on.
The margin back out to 24 points. 4.5 minutes remaining as Maguire and Waterhouse continue on. Emergency umpire will make the trek out. Send him his regards. Burke. McManus over the top. Ball up 60 metres out from the St Kilda goal.
They continue to be pretty good.
He's run 150 metres there, the emergency umpire, and by the time he gets there, they've stopped.
And the water boy's disappeared. He's gone.
But the clearances St Kilda have been pretty good this quarter. They've got the ball going forward their way.
I guess once you're the emergency umpire and you commit, you can't turn around halfway. Clark to Hamill. Inside 50. Numbers there with the Dockers. McManus dropped what he should have taken. Aussie Jones a half chance. Ball to the line. 24 points the margin inside 4 minutes in the third term. Maguire and Waterhouse continue after the emergency umpire ran halfway back to the bench, and now he's going to turn around and go again. He's covering more territory than Robert Harvey. Powell to the goal square. Polak, Gehrig, Lawrence and Grover. Free kick. Fremantle's way, it goes to Grover. Pavlich breaks for him. Looks up and has nothing to kick to, so he holds onto it. Walker provides some run. Slipped away from Aussie Jones. Waits for the bounce and gets it. Looks up. Here comes Clive. Kick missed its target. Maguire will enjoy that one. Took the mark and ran away from Clive Waterhouse. Ordinary kick. Bell wrapped up by Harvey. One arm pinned. Hayes did well in the contest. Peckett skirts away around the boundary line. Inside 50. Gehrig will fly from behind again. Well, if the Saints are going to win this game, you get the feeling Fraser Gehrig's going to be the man to take it by the scruff of the neck. 10 possessions, 7 marks. He's kicked 3 straight goals this afternoon. Could have kicked another one, but went to play on and was pinged.
And from that position, though, he's impossible to beat. Polak needs, I reckon, he needs to just come up onto his left shoulder. Can't afford to be behind because he's just got such a big body. Great tackle from Robert Harvey on Peter Bell on the outer wing as well.
So the Saints through Gehrig from 40 metres out. Kicks the goal. Gehrig's got 4. Well, he is the dangerous forward on the ground without question. He's the ace in Grant Thomas's pack. And the margin back to 18 points. And surely, Ben, the game plan is just get it in and get it into Fraser quickly.
Absolutely, and Peckett's done that on a number of occasions. Gee, when he has a run and jump at the footy, not too many players are actually capable of getting a fist on that ball. He's, you know, he is a talent. Maguire continuing to... It's a good sign, I reckon, for a young bloke. Maguire just sticking to his task as Robert Harvey, well, he deserves a breather. He's had the 24 possessions.
14 goals this season for Fraser Gehrig. He's making an impact this afternoon. Hazelby throws it on the boot. Goddard across to Hudson. He's got Black in short. Finds that player. And Heath Black charges towards the centre square. At half-forward, Hamill edged under the football by Hadrill. Cleverly. And Fremantle rebound. Coops has to be precise. Cook takes it. He was surrounded by Saints. Looking for Crode inside the 50. Gets the free kick. And Goddard, perhaps a little unfortunate.
He just took his eyes off the ball, though, didn't he? He actually looked at Crode for a split second. The umpires generally look at that act. So he's looking at Crode there, not the ball.
Inside 2 minutes in this third term. And the Saints down by 18 points. Can ill afford to concede a goal right here. Trent Crode. Good effort. Doesn't deviate off the loop. What a goal.
Then we spoke of the impact of their mercurial players and the fact they don't need a lot of possessions. We've now seen Waterhouse and Crode both stem the tide.
Yeah, that's, I think, the nature of the beast, really, isn't it? Just for a split second there, Goddard.
Soft butt there.
I reckon if he'd kept his eye on the ball and just thrown himself at the footy when it was in the air, he would have been able to get a fist on that. But, yeah, that's just the nature of these. They're dynamic players. Let's just be honest about it. Crode and Waterhouse, they can get to top speed very, very quickly. They're both prodigious kicks. Farmer's been a bit better this quarter as well.
Rewalt in the ruck now for the Saints. Tap came down to Powell. Thompson to get it inside 50. Burke and McManus. McManus worked him under it but couldn't take the mark. Here comes Gehrig. Lawrence wrapped up by Coops. Polak. Unorthodox but effective to Hazelby. To the run of Cook. The Dockers have slipped away again. Cook with a couple of bounces. Goes inside 50, looking for Medhurst, right to the boundary line, and it's out. Off hands, throw in. Well, the Saints faced with the reverse scenario to last week against Carlton, when it was they that had the lead. Carlton kept coming. Today, it's the other way round. They've got to be the ones to play catch-up football. And Max Hutchin, I fear, has done a hamstring just inside the 54, defensive 54 St Kilda. He'll be out of this contest. He's motioning to the trainers and motioning to his man to pick someone else up.
Now, Simmons has been penalised there. He took the ball out of the throw-in, and as a result, the umpire making the correct call.
The trainer's down to Max Hutchin. There he is. So St Kilda having to do some readjustment. They're one man short in their defensive half as Rewalt goes to the wing. Goddard off the pack. Across the body, but not far enough, and it's out of bounds on the foot as Hutchin hobbles to the bench. Can't even raise a trot. Ball's going to have to come back. The free kick was actually Coops's.
Well, he's done a hammy. He may as well have just run straight off, allowed his teammate to come on. St Kilda are a player down at the minute.
Check with Tomo shortly as to what exactly he has done. Hayes to Jones. Peckett. Hopefully for Max it's just some cramping or some tightness. Peckett to Hamill, and he takes the mark. Saints need a goal. They trail by 4 with 20 seconds remaining in the third term.
He's had a better quarter hour in Hamill, hasn't he?
Big play this one. It'll tick down to 10 seconds. Hamill's now going to have to go the journey himself. He doesn't realise the time on the clock. St Kilda fans screaming at him to kick it. Siren's going to go from 55 metres out. Ball in flight. It's got the legs, but it's across the face for a minor score. So at three-quarter time, it's the Dockers 13-10-88. leading St Kilda 9-11-65. The margin 20.
Box, yes, Max Hudson just behind me there. A pretty sad and sorry figure. In fact, just took a walk past me. He has done a hamstring, won't play any further part of the game. Two big name players out for the Saints.
There was Max during the three-quarter time break. Didn't even join the huddle. Just sat down on the interchange bench. He knew he was done for the day. Interesting point Matthew makes.
Sandilands would back himself against Rewalt.
Rewalt has to go to the ruck, which puts some added responsibility on Hamill and Gehrig up forward as we start the final term. A kicking in danger rule, and we don't see many of those paid these days. It's going the way of the Saints. And Robert Harvey, 25 touches for the game, and still a power of work to do in the final term if the Saints are to get home. They trail by 23 points. Harvey goes long to half forward. Hamill crashed the pack. Rewalt down in a screaming heap at the back of it at 50. More injury problems possibly for the Saints. They've been ravaged this afternoon. Kosicki gone, Hodgson gone, and Rewalt slow to get up. Cook has it on the wing. Rewalt just looks to be winded. Goddard will pick it off. The Saints can attack again, as Matthew Rendell mentioned. No choice, but full on attack now from 4 goals down. Harvey straight up the middle to Powell. Long ball, Gehrig, 2 to beat on this occasion. Hadrill is good in the air as any player in the competition at the moment, Ben. Robert Hadrill impresses me week in, week out.
He throws himself at the ball in the end, no question about that. See Rewalt just landing awkwardly. Troy Wilson, of course, cleaned up both Rewalt and Kosicki in the one match a couple of years ago. So Subiaco Oval, not a great hunting hound for those two young stars.
It's inside 50 for the Saints. Need to manufacture a goal. Need that first one. Walker from the congestion into the path of McManus. To Headland. Great gather on the wing. Uses his pace, takes Black on by foot. And a beautiful finish just over the head of Simmons. Saints know a chance as Capuano releases Clark.
Who runs through the centre square, chips it short, ball at half forward. The Saints going forward off his left boot. Gehrig from behind. Where's the rover? There he is. Milne off the ground. Rolling across the face. Hadrill. Gee, they would have liked that. The Saints, they must get the first here to give themselves any real chance, you suspect.
Gee, they throw themselves at everything, these small forwards. Milne, I just reckon he should have picked that up. I mean, he's thrown his left leg out. The chances of that going through are pretty slim. Maybe take the tackle on by picking the ball up.
Hadrill into the pocket.
Gee, he's been good, hasn't he?
Hayden, yes, he has.
Boy.
Just like his cricketing namesake, backs himself, prepared to take on the opposition. Over the top again, retaining possession, Pavlich. The Dockers by 22 points, chasing a piece of history this afternoon. 3 wins in a row in the same season.
Again, good signs, just showing some patience, waiting someone to prop up. If not, go long down the line.
To a contested situation, Rewalt juggles it, takes the mark. Comes inside the centre square. Powell can go to Clark. Looks upfield. Gehrig on the lead. Oh, doesn't get that far. Hayden can't complete the mark. At ground level, the Saints still a chance. Hadrill over the football, and the umpire calls for it.
It's a real confidence thing, isn't it? When you come off your man, as Hayden did on that occasion, threw himself at the footy, and you've got this bloke sitting on the ground. I mean, that's confidence. Hayden throws himself in the air.
He's done very well against Stephen Milne this afternoon. Inside the 50, Sandilands decisively. Going to ground was Woods. And this unheralded Fremantle Dockers defence standing firm as the Saints do their utmost to get that first goal in this final term.
The downside for the Saints of going long to Gehrig at all opportunities is that it's predictable, and the Dockers know where it's going, and they're filling the hole in front of Fraser Gehrig in this final term. Harvey through traffic, somehow found Hayes. Boot to ball. Farmer picks it off inside his own defensive 50. Crow calling for it up the middle. Farmer not so sure. That's what he's got in front of him. Will go long to the wing. Longmuir's target. Capuano to arrive late. Split the pack. Bell at ground level. Taken high. Tackle slipped over the shoulder. A free kick to Peter Bell.
Gee, he's done well. Remember, he copped that knock very early in the match. He's a tough nut, Peter Bell.
Into the path of Carr to Farmer, who's run on. Runs to 65, Jeff Farmer. Draws the men towards him. Chips over the top to Headland, who can stand in 11 from 35. Headland kicks the all-important first goal of the final term. The margin back out to 28 points. You're watching it live and uninterrupted right around Australia on Fox Footy.
Gee, the ball movement's been pretty good. I mean, there's a couple of skill errors early from Fremantle's point of view, but generally, from that half-back line, they've been pretty swift, quite clinical and very clean. A couple of possessions here, just a deft little kick there from Farmer. Knew the defence was running at him, and Des off a couple of steps, slotted it through.
Gee, that hurts the Saints, doing all the attacking in the opening minutes. And then Des Headland charges forward and gets the goal. Black across to Goddard. They've got numbers around the football. Aussie Jones. They have to keep attacking the Saints here to Powell. Black has followed up, delivers, spearing pass inside 50. Gehrig tries to work Pollack off the football. Hamill wrestling for possession, does well. The captain, can he inspire the Saints? Indiscriminate hand pass. Ball comes back to Pavlich, and Fremantle will clear. Hazelby just backward of the wing. Weathering the storm. Headland, the last goal kicker. Streaming forward after a bounce. Approaches the 50. Probing kick. Meadows at the back. Doesn't get that far. Capuano, best judgment. Across the face of goals, and Xavier Clark. St Kilda running, but they must convert that into scoreboard pressure. Rewalt, a heavy fall a couple of moments ago, but seems to have recovered. Still plenty of time for the Saints, but they've only kicked 9 goals for the afternoon. They have to kick half that to draw level.
They haven't got a tall target at centre-half forward at the minute, the Saints.
Baker squares it again. This is Penny, chips it to Peckett. Watch out, here comes Pavlich. Simmons with a chance to gather, gives it to Hazelby, over the top to Farmer at the 50. He's got Crode loose in the pocket. He marks, he can go. Instead, he settles.
Well, that's good. Mark inside 50. Someone's got to be an absolute lay-down Bezaire if you're going to play on from that position. Just the pressure skills from Fremantle in general play, they were pretty good. St Kilda just waiting for someone to prop up into open space, but it was man on everywhere. Loose ball, and it's got back into the forward 50 quickly.
6 goals for the season for Trent Crode. Off a couple of steps. He threads it through.
Probably award for hard work for those dynamic Fremantle forwards. They didn't really see much of Farmer or Waterhouse or Crode in the first half, but just if their work rate is continually up, opportunities generally can present themselves, and that's what's happened in the second half.
5 goals between the 3 of them. 2 to Crode, 2 to Farmer, 1 to Waterhouse. So Trent Crode's second goal extends the margin out to 34 points. Rewalt and Sandilands. Rewalt the tap. Harvey, ineffective. Cook to half forward. Capuano with a punch. At ground level, here's Farmer, the wizard. Draws Jones, gives it to Longmuir. From 52, attacks the goal square. It's going to fall short. Was it touched? It's rushed through. And the Dockers just clicking into top gear now. Out to 35 points. 8.5 minutes gone, final term. The Saints need to rally. There's Clive on the bench. Watching on as Goddard thumps it long to the outer side. Maguire, the target, takes the mark. 10th touch from Matt Maguire. Hands off to the run of Heath Black for his 23rd possession. 3 or 4 bounces for Black. Draws the man and gives it to Rewalt. Rewalt can run to 55. He runs inside the 50, Rewalt. Goes towards Gehrig, and he's got it again. Well, when the Saints can get it in quickly to Gehrig, and Fremantle can't drop a player into the hole and stop him from having a free run at it, Ben, he's just about unstoppable.
He is. It was good spot up from Rewalt, though, wasn't on his non-preferred. And good set-up play and running play from Heath Black. Heath Black and Des Headland are having a shootout this quarter. They're actually playing on one another in the wing, and both players have got a lot of easy ball midfield.
So Gehrig for number 5.
Ooh.
Just sneaks it inside the right post. 5 goals for Fraser Gehrig.
Geez, he stabbed at that ball. There's clearly a problem with his ankle. We have talked about it.
Not bad when you can score 50% of your team's goals for the afternoon, though, is it?
Yeah, nice central kick from Nick Riewoldt. Pollock's dirty on himself there. You saw his frustration. He reckons he had a clear crack at that footy and just had a windy with his left fist. But good performance from Gehrig.
So Fraser Gehrig with 5 goals. The Saints just 5 goal kickers for the afternoon.
Perfect bounce in the middle. Sandilands comes out to Black, throws it on the boot. McManus did well but couldn't trap it. Burke, beautiful gift to Hayes. Lenny from 45 metres wobbles a kick and wobbles a goal. That's what the Saints needed, a couple in a row, and suddenly they're back in this contest.
You still get the sense that they can score quickly. It has been an open game, and this has just been a hard ball one from Nathan Burke on the half-forward line. Great little left-hand handball to an oncoming Lenny Hayes. He's hit that ball with speed and very, very difficult to stop, but good contested ball win from Nathan Burke.
Win, lose or draw, it's important for the Saints, as we mentioned 3 or 4 minutes ago, to rally in the final term. They've got to run the game out, hold their heads high. If they can jag an unlikely win, full strength to them. But even so, win, lose or draw, they've got to continue to finish strongly. Bell gave it up. Harvey, Hayes, Riewoldt. Saints are excited again. To 50, McManus will get the fly at it. And takes the mark.
They've done that well all day, actually, having a third man in Fremantle.
Here's the switch to Sandilands, trying to create the loose man. Carr over the top would be the option. Oh, in fact, it's Polak. Kick missed its target. They create the loose man nonetheless. The handball to Headland. He gets a brutal bounce as well. Harvey comes in, but Headland got it to Pavlich. To half forward. Clark will go up and take the mark. So again, the Saints have got Riewoldt in the middle of the ground on his own, but they need to move it quickly, go direct to the goal square, and Gehrig. If they can do that, Ben, that third man up for the Dockers just can't get there in time.
Absolutely, and the structure forward's good. Gehrig is one out with Polak inside 50.
No one else inside the 50 for the Saints. Gehrig at the top of the goal square. The kick came to Thompson. Almost got cleaned up by Riewoldt. To Hamill. Goes looking for Peckett. Hazelby to try and shut him down, but Peckett's got it. Reeled in the one-hander. Tough kick from the pocket for Justin Peckett. But 194 games of experience and a chance to go back and reduce the margin to 17 points.
Gee, what's he come up to? His 17th disposal, Peckett. But, gee, he's got some quality ball forward of centre. Just some really important touches.
Huge kick in the context of this game. The veteran, Justin Peckett, in sparkling form at the moment. From the angle, looks great off the boot, just fades across the face, and he misses. So the Saints back within 22 points. Still plenty of time. We've gone 13 minutes in the final term. Still 10.5 remaining.
Good zone from St Kilda. He'll have to go long, I reckon.
Saints must maintain the pressure.
Dion Woods called to get it on. He does that now. Long kick outside the 50. Loose ball to be won here. Peckett had a chance to kick a goal just moments ago. Coughs it up. McManus over the footy. Headland brilliantly done to Hazelby. The Dockers are away. McManus streaming forward of the wing. Delivers to Justin Longmuir. And if anything, this will critically hurt the Saints. A chance at one end. A quick transition in play, and now Justin Longmuir in the sunshine can shoot from about 40 metres.
Thought it was a good zone initially, but Freo just had a couple of numbers out the backside of the zone. Hazelby running free, and a loose ball on about their half-back line. That was the reason it's gone in there towards Justin pretty quickly.
Wearing the long sleeves, Justin Longmuir. Never looked likely. The margin still tantalisingly close for Saints supporters. Inside 4 goals. Ozzie Jones realises time will shortly become the enemy. Kicks it out to Burke. Back with the flight. It's okay. The Saints with Capuano. Drives it along and very wide. Goddard just takes it inside the field of play.
It's 2 number 1 picks together.
It's Penny, in fact, Drove it out of defence. Harvey on the logo. They must surge forward at every possible opportunity.
Fremantle flooding back. He doesn't want to go along to a contest.
Inside the 50, Fremantle have the numbers, and dropping into the space is Troy Simmons.
Read it beautifully, Ben. To Bell. Over the top to Walker.
Good run.
Snuck away from Peckett, couldn't quite take the mark, but would gather. Go towards 50. Medhurst. Baker wasn't watching the ball, gave Medhurst a heads up. Crow shrugs the Baker tackle, squares it up, and Longmuir can have another go. Transition from the Dockers is quick and effective, exactly what St Kilda are desperately requiring late in this game as Polak comes to the bench. They're making a change. So they're looking for a new opponent for Fraser Garrick. Polak will come off, Shammer will come on. There's Longmuir from right on 50. Gives it a ride. And puts it through. His third.
It was another example, Jace, of an easier release from Fremantle's back half, and it was a good mark from Simmons and good team play, but the ball on this close wing here has gone in there pretty quickly because Bell's generated some good play. Well done by Crow there, just summed up that situation, took the tackle on, remained solid and hard in the tackle, and that normally tests Justin. He doesn't like them from about 45, but that was a good finish.
Fremantle's transition football's been exceptional. Robert Hadrill, the new opponent for Fraser Garrick.
Ball back in motion. Hayes kicked it into his own man. Cook across to Headland, in turn to Hayton, who's come inside the square. Pulls it back to half forward. Maguire, good effort, didn't quite complete the mark. Now the Saints have a problem. That's almost holding the ball. Couple of Saints tying the ball up, and Jeff Farmer perhaps suggesting that exact point.
Good sign there for the young boy. Kept his eye on the footy the whole time. Did he drag it in?
Well, he's left hanging afterwards. Awkward position to try and manufacture something. Here's Cook, 35 metres out. Celebration time for the Dockers.
A good setup, wasn't it? A lot of space on the goal side of the pack. Troy Cook, when he gets the ball in his hands and he's at top pace, no one can stop him. Great little push forward from Longmuir. No one on the defensive side of Troy Cook. Actually could have run around that St Kilda play because he was in the air, but elected to kick a little chip kick over his head. Good finish. Good solid game from him.
Freo chant goes up around Subiaco. Margin out to 35 points. Inside 50s, 53 to 45 in favour of St Kilda. But the Dockers have just been more efficient up forward this afternoon. They've taken their chances when they've presented themselves. Clark to half forward. Hamill almost the one-hander. Wrapped up at ground level by Cook. Going nowhere, and a bounce. They've had 11 individual goal kickers, the Fremantle Dockers. St Kilda just the 6. Granted, they have gone to Garrick time after time, and why not? He's kicked 5 goals, but the Dockers have just had more avenues to score this afternoon. Simmons, Rewalt slaps it forward. Grover wrapped up by Hamill, working ferociously at ground level as always. And another bounce. Under 7 minutes remaining. The Dockers looking for 3 wins on the trot for the first time in their club history in the one season. Headland emerges. Again, they get forward of the football. This time it's the Wizard. Can flip it over to Clive. Clive can run to 50. Gives it back to Farmer. Farmer steps, twists, turns, screws himself into the ground and turns it over. Burke to Thompson. To Peckett. And the Saints go forward to Rewalt. Farmer and Waterhouse. As exciting as anyone going around. Even when nothing happens, it's still exciting. Woods did brilliantly. Kept his eyes on the football and beat a couple.
The mistakes look good.
Headland flips to Walker.
I've liked his game. He's worked pretty hard, James Walker.
Uses his pace and puts it out in front of Longmuir to run onto. He's worked himself into the contest as well, Longmuir. 8 possessions, 6 marks. And again, plays forward of the football. They use the space so well at Subi. Hazelby to Crode from the angle. Misses. They just do it so well time after time. Visiting teams just get run off their feet, Ben. They just back themselves in, run forward of the football and create space. 2 goals for to Trent Crode.
Yeah, and that pressure's maintained because they're constantly rotating their team in the midfield, aren't they?
Burke to Penny. By hand to Harvey for his 31st possession. Up the middle to Rewalt. Direct football from the Saints.
Play.
It's what they need to Hayes. Almost a copybook kick-in play from St Kilda. Hayes then goes inside 50 and Goddard juggles the mark. That was better transition play from St Kilda from defence to attack.
Yeah, the important possession's actually when Rewalt's taken that mark. I mean, if there's a player running past and he executes correctly, he can get into that forward 50 really quickly. And if Lenny Hayes is the recipient of the Rewalt handball as he was on that occasion, it's normally a shot at goal.
So 12th touch for Brendan Goddard. Spent most of his 5 games in defence. He's kicked 1 goal, 1 in his career. From 45 metres out, starts it out to the right and misses.
You get the feeling that that miss, with it went any chance St Kilda had of pinching a remarkable victory. Hadrill finds Carr in this Fremantle Dockers lineup. Since last Sunday, have set themselves for a piece of history. Headland, his form questioned a couple of weeks back. He's responded in the best possible manner. Bell, Simmons assesses the options, goes to the top of the square. No mark. Roving Farmer. The Wizard does it beautifully. 3 goals to Farmer. And now it's just a question of how far Fremantle.
The defence is attracted to that ball, and again another example of just the St Kilda defender not on the goal side of the Freo forward.
The margin now blown out to 41 points. This is what we feared earlier in the quarter.
And it is important for the Saints to finish strongly, because as we know, every side that's travelled to Perth the next week, they've actually gone back to Melbourne and lost.
Does take it out of the legs, the wide open space of Subiaco, and the way that the Dockers and the Eagles do use it. Rewalt's handball intercepted by Carr. Quick give from Shammer to Hazelby. Longmuir growing in confidence. Capuano stands tall, takes the mark. Chips wide, very wide, too wide. And Lawrence watches it go over.
He's kicked that off 2 steps. He needed to go back further from the man on the mark.
Remarkable passage of play coming back in as well. Saints get it back. Rewalt to half forward. Thompson worked under it by McManus. He's accidentally tripped over by Hamill. No 50 there. McManus to Cook. Centre half back, just a workhorse, Troy Cook. 19 possessions again this afternoon. Simmons is running free, using the space beautifully to Hayden. Hayden can go inside 50. Pavlich has got free as well. Oh, Medhurst somehow marked it. Plays on Medhurst. Hasn't been his day. And that continues. Paul Medhurst. 4 possessions and a behind this afternoon, and trots to the bench. Saints with a kick in. Comes to ball from Aussie Jones. 3 minutes remaining. Clark outnumbered by Coops and Pavlich. Coops wins it. Hands free from the Harvey tackle to Cook from outside 50. Scrubby kick forward. Registers are behind.
Gee, well done by Stephen Coops, and he's come straight off the bench there and immediately had an impact on that contest. Just got the ball forward. Allowed Freo to have a shot at goal.
Aussie Jones spears the pass. Gee, couldn't have been any better. And Maguire, did he juggle that? Yes, he did. Mark taken.
They've generally manned up pretty well, Freo, all day from this position. There's a free ball here.
And Lawrence took a while to get hold of it.
But they have been disciplined in their manning up, Fremantle.
Just forward of the wing. Hands it off to Heath Black in the shadows. Centering kick. Gehriger's there, but Robert Hadrill has been quite superb. I know that Gehriger's got 5 goals this afternoon, but one of these emerging young Dockers in defence. Woods. Headland the target. Gets it to Waterhouse. Clive's got Pavlich inside. Interesting kick around his body. Showtime for Waterhouse. Off the chest of Hazelby. Comes across to Jones. Centering kick to Rewalt. They've got numbers on the outer side, one of whom is Black again. Simmons has to go to him. Lawrence outside the 50. No real pressure. A very poor disposal, and Gehrig with no opportunity. Des Hedlund's day is done. Fantastic afternoon for him. 28 disposals, and he really has returned to form after some criticism at the start of this season.
I'm surprised he's not heavily tagged every week, Des. He's too damaging when he gets the ball on his own.
Ball rolls over and will have another boundary throw in. A 43-point margin, the Fremantle Dockers. Their third win in succession coming up at Subiaco.
Fair point you make about Hedlund, Ben. Surely he must be one of the players you just sit on all afternoon, because he does not like the attention, but leave him free and he'll cut you apart as he has this afternoon. Lawrence over the top of it. Umpire will call for a bounce. Minute and a half remaining in this one. Fremantle by 43 points. We've added 5 goals, 5 in this final term. The Saints have added 2 goals, 3. Rewalt tries to get at it. Tapped it down to Penny. Flying snap from Luke Penny, misses to the near side. His first score for season 2003.
I think this game will be it's really the story of the unheralded backline, isn't it, from Fremantle? Grover, Hadrill, Hayden, all been outstanding.
Hadrill was so good in the air, so impressive. Goddard did well, beat a couple, squares it up. Black hasn't got an opponent in the last quarter, and it's showing. From 55 metres out, gives it everything, but in going for distance, just tugged it across the face of goal for a minor score. Heath Black up to 27 possessions. He's had 7 in the last term. Rewalt's had 10 going into the ruck. Outside 50 to Simmons and Rewalt again. Simmons won it at ground level. Handball missed Pavlich. Runs away from Hamill. Has support in the form of Grover. Now he's in trouble. Shut down by Lawrence. Back to Pavlich. And the Dockers again with confidence.
The Crows are here.
Must have a spy in the crowd. James Walker. To the wing. Coops. Over the top to McManus. Can run and run. Goes to 60. Draws Maguire to him and chips it to Clive.
Well done.
Sitting right on top of the effects mic, that crow.
And it's going right through our ears.
Clive Waterhouse will have the last kick of the game.
And the Dockers will have something to cry about in about 10 seconds, Jason.
Working beautifully. Clock stops at 8 seconds. Clive Waterhouse has kicked one.
It's just flown away.
So have St Kilda's chances. Clock starts again. From just inside 50, Waterhouse stabs at it. Bit of an anticlimax in the end, but the Dockers happy nonetheless. They run out 41-point winners, 18-15, 123. St Kilda 11-16, 82. And this young Docker side make history, winning 3 games